The government confirms that many more people were joining the nation's unemployment lines last month.
Well, I decided to cash in our change, the final remnants of our financial security. And I collected $10 in quarters by dumping out my entire change bucket on my floor and picking through it.
Youth unemployment has reached a record high of almost 20%.
So I had those $10 in quarters, those 40 quarters in my back pocket, and we were walking down the street, and this gentleman walked up to us and asked if we had change for a $10 bill. Now, I felt a little awkward offering this guy $10 in quarters, right? Like, that's, you know, not what you'd expect when you ask for change. So I explained to him, like, you know, I have $10, yeah, but it's all in quarters. Like, is that all right? He's like, oh, yeah, it's fine.
Now, the job losses continue to rise in Canada. Is there any area that we're seeing an increase in job numbers, not job losses?
The only area of increase is actually with women over 55 years of age.
So I start digging through my pockets, and he puts out his two hands like that, and I take one handful, dump it in his hand, the second handful, dump it in his hand. And he asked me, is it all there? And I say, yeah, I counted it. So he's like, all right, puts that in his pocket and hands me the folded up $10 bill, and then immediately walks off very quickly. So I thought, no, something might be a little fishy here.
And yet we know they have the facts. They know exactly where the jobs are not taking place, which is more to the point than the jobs that are, and they refuse to release it. And so Canadians are getting hoodwinked in very expensive fashion.
So I look at the $10 bill, I unfold it, and sure enough, it's half a $10 bill. Now, at this point, I decide to, you know, maybe ask the gentleman a question or two about what exactly had just transpired. So I rounded the corner, and sure enough, he was about, you know, 50 meters down the road.
Tonight we're gonna go to Sully's house, like we do. Just, you know, relax, talk about some stuff, just have a good time. Standard weeknight. I don't know, then wake up and do it all again tomorrow. The lives we live. I don't know, we buy our own beers. Sully's usually really good with beers. He just takes them from his mom and like gives them to us sometimes, so I repay him back.
Nice.
Yeah, you know. Tonight I'll give him a couple, forgo the cost. You know, it's about sharing when you're both, you know, when you're stuck like this, when you're not making any money, you just gotta share the love, right? When you get something, when you can afford it, you buy it and then you share it. So here we go. We're gonna get some beers for the night. 24 Lakeport Pilsner, hopefully, if they got it. See you guys in a bit. Okay. Check, all right, good to go. Let's go. I went to the best high school I could, went to the best university I could, got good grades. I'm really trying to get a good job, but my efforts seem fruitless. I mean, I keep applying and applying online to jobs that I think I'm capable of, but still, no reply. I'm starting to get frustrated.
It's not like we haven't been looking for jobs. Like, I spend 8 hours a day on my computer applying to jobs. I've applied to probably 100 jobs that I'm all suited for. I'm very, very qualified, but not a single person has gotten back to me yet. So what am I supposed to do with my time?
If only there's a way I could make my money from drinking. Be a millionaire.
I mean, it's gotten to the point where I've gotten so desperate, I've applied to places that I would be embarrassed to work at when I was in high school.
Sometimes what Vinny and I do is we'll be searching for jobs so long and so hard that we just come to the conclusion that night we should just get drunk and play beer pong. I love beer pong, and I'm good at beer pong.
Good? Don't miss.
Oh. Yep. What'd you do today, Sully?
Actually, I had a pretty good day.
Good day?
Yeah, decent day.
That's good.
I think today, in today's economy, that to leave university with a very general degree is almost naive in terms of ending up with a successful position immediately. And I think the expectations of university graduates might be somewhat unreal at this point. In any event, based on what I've seen in recruiting people and reading resumes, a lot of people are finishing now, and their expectation is to start at senior positions rather than junior positions. And while the whole concept of internships are understood, they're still not widely accepted. So where do I see my son in terms of graduating? I guess the disappointment is that he's facing a difficult time and hasn't really been prepared in terms of how to deal with it. And his university education has fallen short in terms of providing him with the skills to actually go out and find a job in a market that isn't as good as it could be. So I'm disappointed, and I'm sure he's disappointed, but where does that leave us in terms of dealing with it? I guess that's really the problem that we have to address. Oh no, I think they've been sold a dream, and I think it's part of the whole educational process. The whole notion that if you go to university you're going to be successful is a real fallacy. But how do you measure success? Is it being the wealthiest man in the world or the happiest man? And that's where the university education falls a bit short, I think.
I've been to a couple of interviews and they'll be like, okay, you graduated from University of Western, that's great. What experience do you have that relates to this job? And I can't really name any solid experience that I have.
I'm hoping that, as the economy turns around, those positions that were available, the ideal position that everybody kind of assumed would be there when you finish university. In my day, it was entry level at IBM or at Molson's or, get your feet wet. I personally started at CIL years ago. Started as a file clerk, you work your way up. And I ended up in, whatever, sales. But they're not there. They're not there, and they're not even there. The sad part, they're not even there as volunteer. You cannot get your foot in the door. Cannot.
I mean, at Western, specifically, I was in a business program, but it wasn't co-op, so I was just learning this theory all the time, and then I would have to look for jobs in the summer. But what was available to me at the time was just general labor jobs, where I would be making enough money to put myself back in school, right? That was my main focus is make enough money to go to school and finish my degree. But an opportunity, an internship that was unpaid during the summer, that would have given me the experience wouldn't have put me in the position to go
finish
back to school. Yeah.
Off my forehead and in the cup. Come on, angle it for you.
Oh. Terrible. My university education wasn't what I expected in the end, which kind of let me down. I was looking for something, or maybe, you know, maybe it was me. Maybe I didn't get as involved as I could have got. Maybe I didn't seek enough opportunities in university, which I've thought about and I've regretted as well.
That was luck. That was good.
If I went back to school, I don't know what I would do, but I would go to a place. Yeah, I'll take one of those. Thanks, man. I would go to somewhere that would give me those kind of experiences and that would involve me in practical learning. That would get me a spot in a company, because I can't do it on my own right now, right? Give me I'm basically looking for a place that got me a job, right?
Yeah.
And then I could go in there, practice what I've been learning, and, you know, do it. I cruised through university. Like, it wasn't a challenge, you know? Like, I didn't have to work hard. I didn't have to, like, really put effort into it. Like, you know, I got in, which, you know, which was good. It proved that I could do it, right? Just getting in. They accepted me to university, so they had enough confidence in me to say that, yes, you can come, and yes, you can get through this program. But when I was in it for 4 years, you know, it wasn't like I was nervous about failing, you know? I always just knew that I would succeed and get by. I think that, like, for you to really be good at something, you have to have, like, this, you have to experience failure, and you have to, like, you have to fail, and you have to see where you went wrong, and then you have to go back and do it right again.
If you're overqualified, you know, you want to work at Canadian Tire just for something, just so you have money and you can eat.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to hire you at Canadian Tire because they know that,
what,
how long you last?
Yeah.
2 months? They go through all the training.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, my daughter who's in high school is being trained for Value Mart. Now, she's gone through what? She's in her 2nd week of training.
Yeah.
Well, let's face it, if you're a university grad, you know, the whole time you're training, you're going to be out looking for something decent. You're not going to work at Value Mart. They won't hire you. That's catch-22. You know, there's no long-term, you know, and let's face it, from a management point of view, who would hire a university student to work in Canadian Tire or to work in Value Mart when you know they're gone?